Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. It's my honor and privilege to introduce you to some material that I think very, very highly of. It's changed my life. Let me introduce myself. I'm Patty Phillips, and I'm a consultant for the Proctor Gallagher Institute, founder of Live Your Ideal Life. Let me go back a few years, like back to about 2008 or 9, where I got a glimpse of what we're covering today, when I watched a movie called The Secret. How many of you have seen that video? I watched this video, and I'm going to be honest with you, I liked the idea of what was being said, but wasn't totally convinced. But something about it stuck with me, and over the next several years I watched it several more times, hoping just watching it would do the trick. But seriously, later in my life, everything seemed to be falling apart. I kept thinking, work harder and you can fix it all. I finally realized what I was doing wasn't working. I had basically hit bottom. And while I was whining and complaining about how bad it all was, I turned on the movie again, and one man seemed to stand out to me, Bob Proctor. I now call him my mentor and teacher. That's when everything changed for me, when I started working with a mentor. A good mentor can collapse time for you because they see things that you may not be able to see. Bob and Sandy Gallagher are founders of the Proctor Gallagher Institute. I don't know if you know this, but Bob Proctor is a direct link to the modern science of success, all the way back to Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie, he was the man who commissioned Napoleon Hill to write Think and Grow Rich. As a consultant for the Proctor Gallagher Institute, I have the privilege to share the wisdom of these great men. Bob has been sharing this all over the world and studying for over 59 years himself. So let's dive into it. Like myself, most of us think, okay, I don't like the results I'm getting, so I'll change. We believe if we just change our habits, things will be better. Or try harder, and things will all get better. Like maybe we decide, I want to lose weight. So we quit eating all those things we love, and we go to the gym, we work really hard, and we might even do this long enough to take off the weight. Next thing we know, the weight's right back on. Or maybe your son or daughter gets a bad report card, and you ground them until their grades are up. They work really hard, they bring the grades up, at least for a while, and then they're right back to where they were. You really want these things. You say, I'm really doing it this time. But it doesn't happen. Well, you're not alone. How many goals do you really think are reached? You know that only 7% of goals are ever achieved? How would you like to be one of those 7%? Bob says, tell me what you want, and I'll show you how to get it. That's a pretty broad claim, but after learning from this man, I'm telling you, that claim is absolutely true. To get these results, you go deeper than changing your habits. You know, you're actually on autopilot. We get up in the morning and we automatically go into a routine. It's really pretty interesting. We spend about 95% of our day on autopilot. We repeatedly do things. Now, all this happens in a particular part of our mind, and it's called a paradigm. So this is very important that you understand if you want to take control of your life. A paradigm is a series of beliefs, ideas, and values, habits. It's a way of thinking about the world. It's the lens that we see the world through. It's in our subconscious mind. Think of when people believed human beings couldn't fly, like when people didn't believe a machine could be built that could take a person into the air, airplanes. That was a paradigm. It was a belief. Crazy thing is, now we fly all over the world every day. We've even been to the moon and back. So it took the Wright brothers challenging that belief and changing our paradigm. I don't want you to let anybody tell you what's possible for you. Some of you have been playing way too small for way too long, but that's in your paradigm. With the right mentor, you'll be able to achieve anything, and it's through learning what limiting beliefs you have and shifting them. But we have a problem. We've got a problem because when we're asked what the mind looks like, this is what comes up. When we think of the mind, we kind of go blank, or we think of the brain, and the brain is not the mind, right? And so, in 1934, Dr. Thurman Fleet, a chiropractor living in San Antonio, Texas, created a drawing. But first I want you to think about your fridge. What color is your refrigerator? Is the freezer on the top or on the bottom? Does the door open towards the left or the right? So when I said that, cells of recognition went off in your mind and an image of your fridge came up. When that happens, your mind starts to search for data, and that's because we think in pictures. Dr. Thurman Fleet created this drawing, and what he did is he really wanted us to understand that the mind is really what's in control. We have a conscious mind. It's the thinking mind. And we have the subconscious mind. It's the feeling part of the mind. And it's the subconscious mind, this feeling mind, that controls the body. And so what happens is, and you should write this down, if this is all you get, it's worth your being here today. You don't get what you want, you get how you feel about what you want. Again, you don't get what you want, you get how you feel about what you want. You can want that goal, you can want to have the things that you want to have, but if we don't make a difference at the subconscious level, it doesn't matter. Now here's the really messed up thing. So maybe we've got a thought like, I want to scale my business, let's say, and your feelings are, it might be hard. I don't know how to do it. I'll have to sacrifice time with my kids. So what action will you move into if it's the feeling part of your mind that controls your body? Procrastination, fear, self-sabotage. And then here's what's really messed up. You'll actually prove it. Yes, you will. You're going to get together with some of your friends and talk about it. And they're going to say things like, yeah, you don't need that. You shouldn't be sacrificing your family time. You're right, just stay where you are. You're good where you are. You will actually prove that belief to be true. That it's hard, that it takes a lot of time, and that you're going to have to sacrifice your family. Do you all understand this? Because it's my job to make sure you understand this. This is huge. This is everything. Where did these feelings come from? Like, how did that happen? Like, why? So what's happening in your subconscious mind are beliefs that no longer serve you. They're just there because they've been repeated so many times to you. And they're not even true, but they're dictating your actions. And they're creating your results. They're creating your life. So do you understand how much you've got to get on top of this? Do you get how if you want something to change, this is where you really need to do the work? So let's go back to this conscious mind. Go back to our stick figure that Dr. Thurman Fleet created. The conscious mind operates quite differently than the subconscious mind. Attached to this part of the mind, the educated mind, the intellect, you have these sensory factors. They're like little antennae. I'm talking about your sense of smell, taste, touch, your hearing, and your sight. That's how we've been conditioned to live. It's by these senses. You have information coming into your consciousness all day, every day, through these 5 senses. And that's how we live. Why? Because that's what we were programmed to do. We were programmed to let the outside control what's going on inside. From other people, from the news, from TV, from our environment. But remember, we created our environment. It's the results of our program. You don't have to do that. You have an intellectual mind, and you have intellectual factors. These intellectual faculties are your imagination, perception, the will, memory, and intuition. They're what separates us from all the rest of the animal kingdom. And it's with those intellectual faculties that we have the ability to create our own environment. We have the ability to accept or reject anything. I'm saying anything. The news, TV, other people, you can accept or reject it. You can reject those limiting beliefs your paradigm is sending you. Those are programs from the past. You can use your reasoning ability. You have the ability to reject the parts of your paradigm that don't serve you. If you want to scale your business, you can reject all those limiting beliefs that your paradigm is sending you. This is all possible in the conscious mind. It's where you can originate thought. You can build ideas in this part of your mind. This part of your mind can choose to think of why you can't, or you can choose to think of how you will. Now look at your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind must accept whatever you give it. But whatever goes into this subconscious mind has to first go through the conscious mind, and since that's where you choose what to accept or reject, you have to be aware at a conscious level and stop it there if you don't like the thought or the idea. Whatever you give this subconscious mind, it must accept. This is so important, and here's the key. That subconscious mind, it can't differentiate between what's real and what's imagined. If you really grasp this, you're off. Pack your bags, you're headed straight towards your dreams, towards whatever you want, because you can imagine anything. You have a very powerful gift in this mental faculty of your imagination. It's the picturing power of your mind. It's where you assemble the materials that you build this dream with, where you build your self-image, where you build your goals. Without this gift, nothing is possible. With it, anything is. Everything is created twice, once in your imagination and then in our physical world. And remember, it's the subconscious that controls the body, which in turn controls your actions and your results. If you don't like your results, I suggest you think about what you're thinking about, what you're imagining. Everything that's been controlling your life is programmed into your subconscious mind, in your paradigm. When we change our paradigm, our perception changes. I can help you do that. I can help you utilize these gifts. Now, the will is what gives you the ability to concentrate. It's what you want to put in control so you can shut down everything that's going on outside and focus on what you want your world to look like. We can learn to utilize these mental faculties. It's how you use your intellect that determines whether the paradigm is going to change or not. You want to start to think into results rather than let the results control you. When you do that, your world will change. It will change so fast. I like to think of it like when Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, after the tornado landed the house in Oz, her world went from black and white to full color. You're going to love it being your life. Thanks for listening today. If you loved what I shared today, push the subscribe button. Share with your friends, comment below, like, and press the bell to be notified of later videos.